Hi, I'm Melody.
I'm Candi.
And I'm Gabe.
And you're listening to
Quirks,
Bumps,
and Bruises. You know, talking about friendship today, and there's nothing quite like a really good friend. I've always said a friend is someone who thinks you're a good egg, even though you're slightly cracked.
Slightly.
Or, yes, I sort of say, or in my case, the whole yolk is laying on the floor, and yet you, Candi, still love me.
Oh, my goodness. See, I think the opposite. I'm the one who's cracked and flawed and shoo, y'all.
Well, I didn't want to say anything, but now that you mention it.
Yeah, you don't have to. But you are truly one of the best friends that I've ever had in my life.
Oh, and I feel the same way about you. But here's the interesting thing about this friendship, and something that we want to kind of talk about today is that there is a big age gap between us.
So I'm 37. How old are you?
I'm older. I will say it's more than 10 years, more than 20 years.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So really close in there. So, which is very unique, I think. I don't know, because it's more of a mother-daughter type thing, but yet, and sometimes I feel like our relationship kind of goes there too, like a mother-daughter type thing.
Yeah.
But it really is a great, great friendship. So going back to when we met, let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? And I remember this was about 17 years ago. I was at Joy FM, and I was coming in like once a week to record. Here's another events calendar update. I would have to do that, and then I would give like calendar events that were coming up. And that's all I did, and then I left. Well, one particular morning, I walk out from recording those events, and there sat this cute little blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl behind the desk.
Young?
I mean, young. I like, did they hire a 12-year-old or what here at Joy FM? But it was Candi, and I remember I said, "You are just the cutest." And she was so shy and just so quiet. And that is like the first time I ever laid eyes on you.
Yeah.
Was
I
that
remember that
particular moment. And then through a series of God events, I ended up being on staff at Joy FM, doing like a Saturday afternoon show for about 2 minutes. And then I was somehow on a morning show. I don't know how that happened, but it did, with you.
Yeah.
Now, you tried to get yourself out of it.
I did. I was terrified. It's funny. God has a way of working things out even when we don't want him to. Yeah, I just didn't. I wanted no part. I was a little shy. Didn't want to be on the radio. And they told me they were looking at maybe getting Melody to come on. And I said, that is a great idea. Like, wonderful, wonderful idea.
But you meant
should go
without
with her.
you.
Yeah. And then my boss said, no, I mean the two of you together. And I thought, oh, dear, okay. But there's nobody else in this world that I could have done that with than you.
And it just clicked.
It did.
It just clicked. We have the same sense of humor.
Crazy.
And I think one of the greatest things about our friendship is that we'll call each other out. You know, to me, the definition of a really great friend is when you can tell them not what they want to hear, but what they need to hear. And we do that to each other all the time.
I actually came to you a couple weeks ago with something, and you told me, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
And you're not going to like it.
No.
But you got to hear it.
And I needed to hear it.
Yeah. So, and that's the definition of a good friendship, and you don't get angry or walk away from the friendship because it's something that you didn't like.
Right.
You know, I've got this. Candi, you gave me this, and it says, "We'll always be best friends because you know too much." And I have to say that's true.
I know, right? It is true. And many of you listening right now can think of that one person that's true. You know, they know way too much. I can't make this person mad because, they know way too much. But yeah, really,
well, we're
it's the
both like
truth.
that.
We
because
are.
we've shared a lot of life, together.
Yeah.
But it has been so unique because of the age gap difference of 20 plus years between us. That's just kind of not a usual thing.
It's not.
most people, Candi, would want to hang around with someone their own age. So, but I remember when we worked at first at Joy FM, we were doing all these things outside the office. We were going to movies and going to dinner and going to concerts and doing all this stuff together. And that's not, kind of unusual, a usual thing either. But and I would say there are pros and cons probably to this. There's pros and cons to having a friendship with an age gap, because at that time you did not have children. And so you didn't have to worry about anything but yourself. And my kids were grown, and maybe they may have still been at home, but they were grown doing their, they were out with their own friends. And so we would do all this fun stuff together. And but then you had Hunter and you have Wyatt, and apparently they come before me now, and I don't, I'm having to deal with that. But and that happens in friendships of any kind, I think, when children come along and one has kids and the other friends don't. It's going to be a difference, because that becomes your priority.
Yeah.
So we don't get to do as much outside of work time as we used to, and I miss that.
Me too.
But obviously, certainly understand it. Another con is that because of the age difference, like you and Gabe will sit and watch YouTube videos for hours on end, and I'm like, oh my goodness, if I have to watch another one of it, how many of these can you watch? And they will all be about the same thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, how many times can you watch Gaither videos, Gaither homecoming videos over and over again?
Or just anything. Like it could be like a funny video where somebody falls or runs into a tree. And y'all have to watch 37 of those different people running into a tree, and I'm like, I see y'all.
Yeah, you're over it.
But then I think one of the pros most definitely is just having somebody to share life with and to talk through life with.
One of the pros for me has been, some of the situations that I'm going through, or, what should I do with my son? He's asking this question, or do I make him continue doing this program even though he signed up for it, but now he hates it? Those are things I can't ask somebody my age who has young children, because they're asking the same questions. But you've done it, so I can say,
I've been there and done that twice, back and around again.
That is that has been wonderful. That's a wonderful pro for me. And just situations, or Melody, I'm struggling with this right now, and honey, I've been there too, and just to see she went through the same thing and she survived it. She's fine.
Yes.
That is just something you can't get just anywhere.
Yeah. I may be a little crazier because I've been through it, but
and now you're going through it again with me.
Yes.
That's a con for you, right?
Your mom, you have a wonderful, sweet mom. I say that if you can't love your mother, then you just can't love.
Right.
But she and I pick a lot, and we'll say it takes a village to raise Candi.
It does.
But it's been a joy to do it. Hey, you've got a wood block too over there. It's so funny because when we were talking about doing this podcast about an age gap difference, we both because I pulled this out and I said, I think I'll show this one, and then you had one.
It's so funny because mine says, a friend is one of the nicest things you can have and one of the best things that you can be. And I thought, so many times I'm so dependent on, what can they do for me, or what can, I'm going through a hard time. Let me call Melody up, see if she can help me. And unfortunately, so many less times I say, what can I do for her? Like, what can I, because it's good to be a friend as well. So, yes, I'm thankful for your friendship. And I'm taking this time now to say thank you. And just whatever I can ever do for you. I feel like I never help you in any way, but I'm so thankful for that.
Well, would you like a list? I'll give you a list of things
come on. You need laundry done?
Hey, I feel like that because I have lived more life than you, if I can help you not make mistakes that I have made, then that is a plus. That is just, I don't want to see you be stupid like I've been, with things. Because I've not been the perfect wife. I've not been the perfect mother. I made mistakes and still make mistakes. So if you are struggling with something and I've been through it and I did make a mistake, whoa, Candi, try a different approach to this. Try, this or whatever it is that we're talking about. If I can help keep you from going through any heartache or just unnecessary pain or anything, that is a good thing. It's interesting because I have a friend that's probably 20 plus years older than me. You know her. Her name's Carolyn.
Mm-hmm.
And she is the same to me. I feel like she has been a mentor for me. So I guess through all this, being able to just say, don't be scared of having a friend that may be younger than you or older than you, because it can work in a really great,
absolutely
good way. Going back to you saying being a friend, one of the, I remember a quote that I heard years ago, and I think it's true, and it's just real simple. It just says, in order to have a friend, you've got to be a friend. And so many people I've heard say, I just don't have any friends at all, which is sad.
Yeah.
And because a really great friendship, and I'm talking about the kind that is a loyal friendship. In other words, if I say to you, I want to talk to you about this, but I don't want it to go further than this room, and I can honestly 1,000% trust that it won't, hard to find.
Very.
That's the kind of friendship you want, the loyalty. Again, the person that sometimes has to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So those kinds of friendships are very rare. And I've heard a lot of people, even my age, say, I've never had a good friend. I don't have a best friend. I don't have anybody that I feel like I could just call on if I needed them in any kind of way. And that's sad to me. So if that's something that you want, you would just really love for God to place that person in your life that is a girlfriend. I would start praying for that. Just, Lord, is there something in me that's keeping me from having that friendship? Or is there something that I could do to propel that friendship forward that I already have, but it's just never gotten quite to that place that I'd like for it to be? Or what is it, Lord, that you would have me to do or be or say to be a good friend to someone? So don't give up. And I hope and pray that if you are looking for that person, you can find one as good as this cute little thing sitting across from me right now named Candi.
Oh, ditto, my friend.
I mean, who would not be a good friend named Candi?
Thanks for listening to the Quirks, Bumps, and Bruises podcast with Melody, Candi, and Gabe. If you enjoyed the show, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and share the podcast. You can learn more at joyfm.org.